What's cooking, WWE Nation? This is Ringside Insider, bringing you fresh wrestling heat every day. Smash subscribe and let's jump right in. What happens when three sworn enemies, men who have fought each other across rival companies, broken alliances, and unforgettable betrayals, suddenly stand side by side? What happens when the impossible becomes real before the eyes of millions? That's exactly what unfolded on Monday Night Raw, a night that will be remembered as one of the most jaw-dropping moments in WWE history. For years, fans dreamed of moments like this, rivalries buried, grudges forgotten, and warriors uniting for a cause bigger than themselves. But no one, not even the most passionate WWE loyalist, could have predicted this level of shock. The rise of Heyman's vision over the past few months. Paul Heyman has been quietly building what many now call the Vision, a faction that represents power, manipulation, and calculated dominance. Under Heyman's leadership, this group became a corporate war machine, cold, efficient, and ruthless. With Brock Lesnar recently joining its ranks, the balance of power in WWE shifted dramatically. Heyman's plan was simple: control the future of WWE through fear and precision. His team of hand-picked warriors, each a master of destruction in their own right, stood tall week after week, dismantling anyone who dared challenge them. By the time Monday Night Raw rolled around, Heyman's faction looked untouchable. They were the self-proclaimed future, the evolution of dominance in the modern era of wrestling. As Heyman stood in the ring with his faction behind him, microphone in hand, he smiled the smile of a man who thought he'd already won. He promised victory at Survivor Series and declared that no force on earth could stop them. But what happened next would prove that arrogance has consequences. The lights go out. Heyman had barely finished speaking when the arena plunged into total darkness. The crowd gasped, their cheers turning to stunned silence. For nearly 10 seconds, the only sounds were whispers and anticipation. Then the Titantron flickered to life. Static, brief flashes of familiar faces, and then silence again. When the lights returned, standing at the top of the ramp was Jon Moxley. The roar of the crowd was deafening. The former member of The Shield and AEW's most unpredictable force had returned to WWE. His presence alone would have been enough to shake the entire wrestling world, but this was only the beginning. Moments later, from the opposite sides of the arena, Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso appeared. The tribal chief, long thought to be isolated after the fall of the bloodline, now walked toward the ring with a new sense of purpose, and Jimmy, carrying the emotional scars of family betrayal and redemption, joined them. Three paths converge. For years, these men had been on separate journeys, Roman reigning as the dominant force of WWE, Moxley carving his legend through chaos, and Jimmy trying to rediscover his identity outside the bloodline's shadow. They had fought against each other, betrayed one another, and built their own empires. Yet on this night, all of that history became fuel for something far greater. Moxley stepped forward, microphone in hand. His words were simple but powerful. "You wanted a war, you just got one. And we're bringing the chaos with us." The message was clear. Whatever differences existed between them, the threat posed by Heyman's vision was too great to ignore. This was no ordinary alliance. This was survival. The enemy of my enemy. In wrestling, alliances often come and go, but this one felt different. This wasn't about friendship or nostalgia. It was about necessity. The return of Moxley to WWE was already headline news, but teaming with Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso created a once-in-a-generation moment. Each man brought something unique to the table. Moxley brings unpredictability, a raw, unfiltered chaos that can't be controlled. Roman Reigns provides leadership, experience, and the calm strategy of a man who has ruled at the top for years. Jimmy Uso adds emotional drive, carrying the story of redemption and loyalty that connects directly to the fans. Together, they represent three philosophies united against one goal: dismantling the corporate machine that Heymon built. It's the ultimate case of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and the WWE Universe is witnessing it unfold in real time. A battle of ideologies. What makes this story so powerful is not just the names involved, it's what they represent. On one side, you have Heyman's vision, a faction built on control, structure, and profit. They are the embodiment of the corporate WWE, where dominance is calculated and every move is strategic. On the other, you have the newly formed alliance of Moxley, Reigns, and Uso, a team forged from chaos, passion, and rebellion. They don't follow the rules, they don't fit the corporate mold. Their unity is messy, imperfect, and entirely human. This sets up Survivor Series as something far bigger than a traditional wrestling showdown. It's a battle of ideologies, corporate control versus raw freedom. It's about what wrestling truly means: power or passion, order or chaos, breaking barriers and building bridges. Beyond the storyline, what makes this moment historic is the way it breaks barriers between wrestling worlds. Moxley's presence, bridging AEW's chaos with WWE's structure, signals a new era of storytelling. For years, fans have dreamed of cross-promotional moments, universes colliding, rival companies acknowledging one another. And now, through this alliance, that dream feels closer than ever. It's a reminder that wrestling, at its core, is about connection. Rivalries can evolve into partnerships, and enemies can become allies when the stakes are high enough. This alliance opens the door for creative possibilities that fans once thought impossible, blurring the lines between reality and fiction in ways that only wrestling can. The road to Survivor Series. As the dust settles from this shocking Raw moment, one thing is certain: Survivor Series is now the most anticipated event of the year. The stakes have never been higher. Heyman's vision will face its biggest challenge yet: three men united by chaos, purpose, and redemption. The tension between these factions is already palpable. Will Moxley's wild nature clash with Roman's leadership? Can Jimmy keep his focus when faced with the ghosts of his past? And will Heymon find a way to counter the unpredictable force now threatening his empire? Every promo, every stare down, every match leading up to Survivor Series will carry that electric sense of uncertainty that only true wrestling magic can deliver. A night that redefined possibility. When the cameras faded out and Raw came to an end, fans were left speechless. Three men who once despised each other now stood side by side, united by a cause greater than pride. It wasn't just a return, it was a statement, a reminder that in WWE nothing is ever truly over. Rivalries evolve, stories continue, legends are reborn. This alliance between Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley, and Jimmy Uso has redefined what's possible in modern wrestling. It's proof that loyalty, betrayal, and redemption can exist in the same heartbeat. And above all, it's a reminder of why fans keep watching. Because in WWE, the most unforgettable moments are always the ones no one sees coming. The war lines are drawn. Heyman's vision stands tall, but chaos has returned. And this time, It has three faces.